I heard you got the fever for the flavor.
It's the flavor. It's the flavor.
I heard you got the fever for the flavor.
It's the flavor. It's the flavor.
It's time to kick the flavor, gonna make it real funky for you. It's time to kick the flavor, gonna make it real funky for you. Ain't it funky now? Here comes the flavor. Ain't it funky now?
Hey everyone, it's Jason Bennett from Comics Bodega and the Funky Flavor Podcast, and today we're back with another Kickstarter spotlight, and it's the all ages fantasy comic Chubicorn. Kind of a big deal. It's a horned kid's spellbound destiny, and it's launching Tuesday, July 7th and ending Tuesday, August 4th. And so joining me today he's a writer, illustrator, and content creator in Southern California, member of the SCBWI, Kids Comics Unite, and the cartoonist at Orange County. He's one half of the husband-wife team who successfully crowdfunding their debut middle grade graphic novel, 3D Honey. They end up getting the attention of someone we've been promoting a lot here at Comics Bodega is Paper Cuts, a graphic novel imprint outside of Mad Cave Studios. And they signed a two-book deal. Volume 1's coming October 20th. So pre-orders will probably start rolling out pretty soon. I know Paper Cuts is really good on getting that early information out to push some pre-orders. Well, now, my guess, he's bringing his latest book, Chubicorn, kind of a big deal to Kickstarter. But please welcome my guest, writer, illustrator, Jon St. Amant. Jonathan, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. I'm glad we could connect and talk a little bit about your book here. Now, do you write, illustrate, is everything you in this book?
Yes. Yeah, everything is
Wow.
all done by me. Yeah, it's a lot. I know. It's too much.
No, it's not that. It's actually, for me, I'm just like, wow, it just shows, an increased level of talent that, it's not a bunch of individuals make it, nothing against that, but when one person tackles it's always it's really impressive to me because not everyone can pull off writing and illustrating at the same time. That's usually why they have two people. There are some people that can, no, that's, kudos to you that being able to take on like this. How long is this book going to be? This is volume 1.
Yeah, so volume 1 will be 28 pages. And
Okay.
this particular story arc will mostly be introducing Chubicorn or introducing the audience to the world of these wizards who are celebrities, they're politicians, they are, tastemakers, they're influencers. And so Chubicorn will start this story, but this story is such a open world, massive. There's so many spin-offs that I'm already working on.
Okay.
There's a wizard in the book in this first issue that's introduced who I want to make a whole series on his own. Um,
Okay.
but to answer your question, yeah, this first arc, I can see this one lasting a few episodes. So my plan is to do 28-page floppy rollouts for the next, few years, and
Okay.
then collect those into a trade. Um, and then from there, I would love to see Chubicorn on smaller arcs, so similar to how One Piece, every time they hit a new island, it's an arc. So I'd
Okay.
love the idea of Chubicorn and Donusis and his friends solving different problems or coming across, getting into different trouble. And so rather than it being one big overarching narrative, I see it more as, Chubicorn versus this wizard. Chubicorn saves the town. Chubicorn goes on vacation. So I'd love to do,
Sure.
little mini two, maybe 3 to 4 page or 3 to 4 issue arcs. Then
Okay.
eventually it'd be awesome to have, the compendium and omnibus and all this, I can
Oh,
see a lot of potential for that.
sure. And especially with, I'm sure, everything you accumulate that could be added to the trade or the omnibus, even with character designs, process work, or any kind of additional little features that you could pack into a collected edition like that.
Yeah.
Now, and this first volume is the Errand of Destiny. So that's this arc, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
This arc is about Chubicorn just being asked a simple task to go to the store, get some things, and the trip is anything but. It just really kind of dives into the crazy chaos of this world. And in a world run by wizards, where everybody like celebrity, like they hero worship these wizards, and the wizards take advantage of that in a lot of ways. Um, it goes from a regular errand to this adventure, and so or misadventure, I will say.
Yeah.
So this first one kind of leads us into then, I'm going to have other issues where he deals with this new situation that he just got himself into. So it's more setting up the problem, getting him through a wide variety of trouble, and seeing how he kind of reacts and survives it, or not, maybe. But that's kind of the plan is to get him into the world, show how crazy and weird it is,
Right.
and then set up for the next issue, which is going to be more. Um, I don't want to ruin anything, but just he becomes a little bit more aware and prepared and armed and for the next series of adventures. So yeah,
Okay.
that's the plan.
Oh, I like that. And you said crazy and weird, and I think it's interesting because and let people know, Chubicorn was your middle school class mascot, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
you wanted to tell his story and how tell us about, I mean, obviously Chubicorn was obviously not only important to you, but to your class and enough to build a story upon and explore this world where Chubicorn comes from.
Yeah. He started off as I was teaching a summer school class. So I was a middle school art teacher for 18 years. And after a few years of that, I started doing summer school offerings of a comics and character design class. And
Okay.
so Chubicorn started off as a mascot for the comics class in the summer. And Chubicorn's design was actually based on, I have a YouTube video on this where his design was based on a kind of funny, simple student drawing of a unicorn. The student basically drew like an oval with four legs and a
Okay.
tail, no neck, no snout. And I think it had little ears. So then I started drawing and I thought, oh, this is such a charming, I love this drawing. It's so fun. And then I started taking the neck and bending it 90 degrees. I changed the hooves, I took the tail off, I made it opalescent. And then for a while, Chubicorn was a quadruped. And he just walked
Okay.
around, didn't have a speaking part, was just, I would draw him everywhere. And he was kind of a sidekick for another story that didn't quite take off. But
Okay.
then I started realizing the kids, my students love Chubicorn, and he's so easy to draw. In fact, I brought some samples of their fan art over the years. So this is like a
Yes.
felted Chubicorn that I was given. This is
So cool.
a little You Rock
I love
Chubicorn.
I love that
It's
one.
actually a rock, the little message on the back.
Yeah, yeah.
A Lego Chubicorn somebody made. Like, so just like I just keep I
Oh,
would receive
fun.
these gifts every year. Like this somebody made a 3D printed name tag, but it has a Chub
Wow.
dragon. So Chubicorn's one of his
Oh,
transformations there.
oh, how cool is that?
So just getting all these fun things and having the excitement of this character, I thought, man, like he needs to have his own thing. He needs to be his own hero in a story.
Right.
Um, and so from there, it just started. The students would give really interesting feedback in the form of critical questions, like, "What does Chubicorn eat?" And then I would say something like, you know what, that's a good point. And I'd go home and think about it and go, okay, Chubicorn is not the most healthy eater. And then I would design a snack food called Super Puffs. And it was just a puffed wheat that had salt and no nutrition. And that's his favorite thing to eat. And so they would pepper me with questions over time. And
Right.
it helped me develop him as a character, and
Yeah.
then ultimately as a story. So that's kind of where it all started. But it's been years in the
Wow.
making, just drawing and developing. Yeah.
And obviously input from your students
Right.
to
Yeah.
help kind of build out, his backstory.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They were great. And then the Wizards kind of came from that as well, where I had this moment where I just had this creative flow of creating wizards. I went through this, I call it the wizard phase, where I would just draw these really weird wizards, a wizard with a volcano for a face, or a wizard that was made out of was a cupcake, and you can only summon cute, harmless animals. He was like a summoning wizard, and so the
Yeah.
more I drew those, it just started building, and the students would say, "Oh, let's draw this wizard," or so we do a lot of draw-alongs together in class, and again,
Right.
question and answers, and a lot of calling things out. Like that doesn't make sense, Mr. Saint Amant. Why does Chubicorn, why doesn't he talk? Or why is his best friend an edible donut with wings? Like just asking questions and forcing me to to have answers for them because the students are always very inquisitive and they want to know, like they want to make sense of the world, but they also want to
Sure.
have fun. They love the whimsical nature of the world. And so yeah, they're the huge a big inspiration behind this whole thing.
That's
For
so
sure.
cool, man. That's so cool. And so, people watching or listening, give you an idea. This is a book that's definitely for fans of like Adventure Time, the world, Amazing World of Gumball,
Yeah.
Nimona. Is that right? That's kind
Yes.
of because I mean, I could definitely see when I saw Adventure Time Gumball, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can kind of, visually, yeah, I see what audience this is kind of the fans of that are really gonna appeal to this.
Yes, for sure. I love, even though I have only admittedly only seen a few seasons of Adventure Time. I love Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Uh, Gumball is so hilarious and random. Nimona is very creative. The shape shifting qualities of Nimona, but also Ren and Stimpy. Like, I do like
Okay.
drawing in the comic in the floppy. People will see that Chubicorn sometimes here. This is actually I made this little sock puppet, but sometimes Chubicorn has stumpy like hands. Other
Uh,
times he has fully detailed articulated fingers with like fingernails and
oh,
knuckle lines. And so I just like to randomly mix it up. Like if it's a close up of him grabbing something, you'll see like a
right,
human hand grab it, and it's the same color. I don't know. I think it's the Adventure Time. There's a name for it where you do this super close up and it's like grotesquely detailed.
right, right.
I
And
forget the
I
name.
remember that with like Ren and Stimpy
Yeah.
that they would do that
Sorry,
a
Ren
lot.
and Stimpy. Yes. Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Uh, okay, yeah, I remember that with always with Ren with this, you'd see like hairs coming out of him that it's like,
Yeah.
that's too much. I wouldn't want to see that on a human nor a cartoon. But
Right.
no, I know what you mean. That kind of zoomed in panel shot, highly detailed, like
Right. Yeah.
to
Yeah. I
gain
love
that
that.
expression or that response from people.
Right.
So for this is your first Kickstarter campaign?
This is my first Kickstarter, yes. Like you mentioned earlier, my wife and I did use crowdfunder for 3B Honey initially,
Okay.
and that got the attention of Paper Cuts. But
Okay.
this will be my first time launching on Kickstarter. Yeah.
Do you have anything you could share about as far as tiers you're going to be offering? Anything special that backers of the campaign could look forward to or jump on board with?
Yeah, so the campaign features two covers. So there's a
Huh.
fun alternative cover that's like a surfing pose with Chubicorn riding a wave and some characters in the background.
Okay.
I'm really excited about a sticker sheet design that is Beach Wizards Block Party. So basically, what you would get is a background image of a street scene with Beach Wizards island vehicle parked
Okay.
on the street and then a separate sheet of peel off stickers. I think they're going to be vinyl stickers that
Yeah.
you can create your own block party. So all it has maybe 24 stickers, I believe, or more, but it
Okay.
has basically every character in the first issue that
Yeah.
you learn about and get introduced to that you can bring together and pose them and it's I'm really excited about how that turns out. And so that's one of the big things. Another one is I will be doing commissions, black and white commissions of a
Oh,
character of a person's choice.
okay.
So those are original pieces of work. And then the biggest one is going to be the you're going to work with me on designing a character for the very end of the book, which will be introduced as like a neighborhood resident. And
Okay.
this character, the species design and the character becomes canon. And so in the future
Okay.
seasons or episodes, that character could have a more prominent role. So basically, it's an introduction in the last 5 pages. There will be
Right.
a panel or so, maybe a couple of panels introducing or just the character interacting with one of our main characters. And so
Sure.
that is that's the highest tier. And that
Okay.
that person would come with we would do like a 3 day, 3 hour session of showing I would basically be like bringing my teaching experience to show how I design characters.
Sure.
But the person who gets that tier is having input on what the character looks like. So for
Okay.
example, I may say, give me a food-based character, or like, what's your favorite food, or what's your favorite dessert, or something, or and then so it's going to be a collaborative effort that
Okay.
that person brings to the comic to create a canon character, which I'm excited about.
And
So that's
it's not just a simple cameo. It's not just it's going to
no.
appear this one time in the book, and it'll be on one panel or something. That we're going to get more from this character moving forward.
Yeah, so the world of Chubicorn, the world is called Shellrim, and it's a pretty much anything goes. And so we have food-based characters, we have high fantasy, we have, there's an in the first issue, there's a little alien character that's kind of appears in a few panels and scenes. So yes,
Okay.
I want this character to be a species and to be um, coming back, having repeat appearances in future episodes. So
That's
yeah, it's not gonna just gonna be like one background thing and then that's it, like one and done. But
right.
it'll be designed in a way that fits into the world, but with that person who, that backer's input and so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about doing a collaborative character design
Yeah,
for
this
this.
is great. The you mentioned the scenery and the vinyl stickers. It immediately took me back to some, I remember having that like back in the 80s as a kid. That was you had like a little, yeah, pre-made playset background, but yeah, you had little
Yes.
stickers that you moved around, and set up, poses and stuff, and it was so fun. And that sounds
Yeah.
like a great idea for backers of this. Where are you at so far, or where will you be come the end of the campaign as far as progress on the book? How soon is it? Are you looking at maybe not fulfillment, but how soon could people expect this to go to the printer and kind of like a timeline there?
Yeah, so at the time of this interview, I am 23 out of 28 pages finished.
Okay,
So it's all scripted, and the only thing left, I want to keep it open, is that last, like I said, couple of pages where I input the new character.
sure.
Uh, and so the plan is to have it as ready as possible by the time the campaign closes. I remember
Uh,
one of the mistakes we made with our first campaign with our TVH 3V Honey story was I only had maybe, oh man, the first 10 pages out of 65
yeah.
finished by the end of the campaign. And so it was almost a year wait. It was a
Oh
long wait.
wow.
And I don't want to make that mistake again. I'd love to just have it, people get it as soon as possible. So yeah, so I've been
Sure.
working on this for a while. It's all posted online. We posted on Comic Fury, in addition to our social media. And so people can
Okay.
see all the pages. And there's no surprises if people have checked in.
When I went to your website, among other places, and I saw there were some preview pages of Chubicorn and his friends. Is that part of this, or is that just some early work you did that
That might
has
be
inspired this?
my wife is instrumental at doing all the social media and the website. She's
Okay.
excellent at that end of it.
Okay.
She's the co-writer of the 3B Honey, but she's also
Right.
does marketing and posting. So I think on
Okay.
the website, if there's not updated pages, it's probably sample pages, but
Right.
there's definitely a link that leads to the Comic Fury. And then she's also been posting on our Saint Amant Stories Instagram, and so you can actually see each page is depicted as a panel by panel scroll, and then at the final
Okay.
panel is a full page spread. So you can kind of read it in different ways, like social media, or if you want to get on the website and do like the vertical scroll, but
Sure.
it's not designed like webcomic where you have like this. I've seen webcomics that are so beautiful. They're planned out to be scrolled. So you're like scrolling through an ethereal mist, and then you get to the next panel, and it's like Lord of
Right.
the Rings, for example. It's not like that. It's more like a
Okay.
page that's scanned, and you can just go, as you read it top to bottom, left to right, you can kind of lift it up and standard, reading
Okay.
experience. And that's just because the ultimate goal was to get it to print, so I didn't want to have to
Sure.
translate it from the vertical scroll layout into a print. It's a lot. So
Sure. Sure. Well,
yeah.
it sounds like a really fun book, and just your excitement behind it, the fact that your students were involved, had a hand in its early origins and what you're going to be offering, just sounds so fun. And that Jaws variant cover,
Oh,
the homage or movie poster
sure.
uh, cover,
That comes
That
from I did it. So as a teacher, when I was in the classroom, every year I would do a different t-shirt design, in a
okay?
way, in an effort to fundraise for class materials.
Oh,
So
okay,
I would sell t-shirt pre-order. I would give pre-order forms, and students and families would order, and then I would do a batch order of those shirts. So that Jaws scene that you see uh, is actually one of the t-shirt designs that we did one
ah,
year.
okay,
Um, and so, as far as alternate cover, I don't have plans now, but I do actually have a series of linoleum prints that
okay.
will be a tier or an add-on item. So, like this is like one example. So I
Oh
used to teach
wow,
a linoleum project in my eighth grade class, and so every year I would do a mashup of Chubicorn. This is a Toulouse-Lautrec print, and it only worked if they were humanoid. So this is Chubicorn, like human boy version, and Donusis as the dancer. But I have a
okay.
series of these, and so these prints would also be as a part of a. Let me see if I can get one more here. This is a really simple one, but it's a famous Japanese printmaker, and I took it. It used to be. It's normally a frog, but I made it
Okay.
into Chubicorn, and then instead of I believe there's kanji here, uh, and I spelled Chebacorn kind of like cleverly into
Oh,
the
okay.
so these will be add-on items as well.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so these were fun. Like this one's crazy. This one's
Oh,
based
wow.
on Fragonard's The Swing. But again, I had to do Chebacorn as a human and Donusis as a human here. But it has a lot of Easter eggs of characters in the story, and there's
Yeah,
but the challenge was always to try to get a masterwork, like a masterpiece, kind of mashed up with Chebacorn. So that back to your thing, like the whole Jaws one was a t-shirt mashup design.
could people get the T-shirt? Or have you thought about reprinting those or making it some
I
up for the campaign if there's interest?
I'm considering that. I would probably do the one thing about the t-shirts that I promised the buyers of those back in the day was that it was a one and done special edition. So I would probably do
Okay.
a slightly altered or um, maybe black and white or yeah, I'm looking into maybe in a future campaign for the
Or
t-shirts.
maybe like a Kickstarter exclusive as well. That the only way you can get this from that campaign. And
Sure, that's
but
true. It could be. Yeah, yeah,
okay.
that could be a thing. But
Oh
yeah,
no,
it's fun to just experiment with all the different mediums and like just this Chebacorn. What people like about him is like he's just so easy to draw and sculpt. I mean, I always tell
sure,
students, if you're struggling with art, I have this phrase, it's when in doubt, derp it out, and it's just about making these cutesy, simple, funny faces on things. And so,
sure,
um, because he's so versatile and simple, he can be mashed up and inserted in a variety of things. Um,
right,
and it allows an entry level artist to kind of get in and feel good about their art and like draw something really simple and fun, and everyone can immediately recognize it. And so that's
right.
another cool kind of like side effect, I guess, of having this simple design is that students who are maybe not so confident or early in their development can get in on it and like draw their own Chubicorn, and I really encourage people's fan art. I think it's just fun to see what they do with them.
Well,
So
you've kind of established where there's really no boundaries or defined parameters for this. Like you said, you could Capricorn could have a human hand.
right,
He could look like this. That is especially for other artists and drawn art. That it can be anything because that's kind of the world you built for this character.
right. Yeah, and the shape-shifting idea, um, allows for yeah, all kinds of interpretations. Like it's just I just love seeing what people. I really consider Chobocorn in the development a collaborative effort, like the way that the students would question and come up with ideas or
Right,
challenge things that I came up with. I love the idea of community, connecting and um, helping out and building something together. I just love that part of it, you know.
sure. And yeah, and you get that through Kickstarter too with keeping in contact with your backers, giving updates,
Yeah,
special news that only they'll hear because they backed the campaign. And I mean, that's almost it's collaboration itself. Can't make the book without their help. And
yeah.
yeah, no, that's great. No, it sounds like for your first Kickstarter campaign, it sounds like you're just knocking it out of the park, and it's going to be. I don't see why this can't be just a huge success. That just with everything you have planning and the rewards and just the work itself, it's just really fun, and I'm excited for you, man. I'm going to be watching this with watching your campaign, and just I think I'm going to enjoy seeing people react, and especially when you get younger crowds, you get more eek, yay, he's
Yeah.
coming out, or those kind of responses. And I just
Yeah.
I've had so many responses from younger readers with a lot of stuff I publish, like promoting Sonic the Hedgehog, and they just have like such a fan base
Right.
that My Little Pony, like you brought
Right.
up, that they'll just keep it up in the comments and chatting. Oh, hey, he got wings, and oh, hey, and they just get so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this seems like a real, an IP that people could really do the same thing, especially younger crowds, younger audiences, that they could just go nuts for, fall in love with,
Yeah.
design their own Chubicorn,
Right.
share it
Yeah.
online, and get that interaction and engagement. And uh, it sounds like, yeah, it just all around this is great, man. I'm so happy that it's coming out, and you're what you got going, and and it's got to be great having your wife be able to help you along with this too. That the support there. I mean, not only on your guys' book that you've already worked out a deal with paper cuts, but also like you said, in this one, their social media, taking care of their website, that you have that extra set of hands and eyes to that are fully on board, and uh,
Yeah.
it's got to be a great thing.
Yeah, and in her experience, so she the past 3 years has been a copywriter. So working in
Okay.
marketing has been amazing. Seeing her develop as somebody who can throw together ideas and make them fun and engaging. And like if you check out like our TikTok account, she's always filming me, or like I'm drawing. I'm perpetually hunched over my iPad, and
Right.
so she'll just get. I see in the corner of my eye she's getting footage. I'm like, oh man, what now?
Yeah.
And I would play along, but I just never really paid much attention to what she was doing with the footage. And so recently, I just started scrolling on our Saint Amant Stories TikTok, and I was just like blown away by the the professional quality and the narrative, like the humor and the aesthetic that she has going through that,
Right.
every little post. And I was just cracking up at some of the posts and how she's taken that raw footage and just turned it into like this funny, really, accurate but funny and relatable narrative.
Right. And I think they have a different eye too, that they see things that maybe we don't see, just but they see what it can be, or can be
Right.
presented as,
Yeah.
where I mean, they're just in the line of work. And she was the writer on 3B Honey, right?
Yes, she's the writer on
While
3D.
you illustrate that.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
we're working through book two on that one right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, book one comes out in October 20th, and so the
Right.
pre-orders are open for that one. But I'm already, let's see, I'm inking page 18 right now. And that book two for us is due March of 2027.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So,
nice. March.
yeah.
Wow, that's is that 5 months after the first one? Yes, thank you. I love you too. The
Every cat gets
bodega cat always has to pop in and make
I
an
make the walk
appearance,
in. Yeah.
just one time every interview.
I saw
Uh,
I saw an interview you did previously in it. Yeah. Coming
it's
up.
just, hey, he's my buddy. He can be a
Yeah,
part of
that's
it.
awesome.
Happy to have him. Uh, yeah, wow, man, this is so great. I'm glad I had the opportunity to speak with you and learn more about this. Everyone, we want you to go check out this Kickstarter. It's for Chubicorn, kind of a big deal. The All Ages Fantasy Comic, brought to you by my guest, writer, illustrator, Jonathan St. Amant. So, Jonathan, thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and sharing more of the backstory and about your campaign, and how this all came to be. It's well-rounded and a very beautiful story all around. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks for taking the time and sharing that with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jason. I really had a good time. It was fun.
Hey, my pleasure. Big thanks to Jon St. Amant for taking the time to speak with us at the Funky Flavor Podcast and Comics Bodega. Be sure to follow the campaign, back the campaign, make a pledge, share it, get it out there in the world, and join in on the fun. You can visit the campaign at bit.ly/Chubicorn1, that's CHUBICORN, and the number 1. And follow Jon St. Amant online to find out more about Chubicorn and 3B and Honey and more. You can go to his IG at st.amantstories. That's Saint.Amant Stories. TikTok, he's over at St. Amant Stories, all one word. Saint is STAMANT for Amant and Stories. Substack at St. Amant Stories. YouTube at Mr. St. Amant, that's MISTER, Saint, SAINT, Amant, AMANT. And for more, be sure to hit up the website, St. Amant Stories, STAMANT Stories.com. And as always, for more from me, Comics Bodega, and the Funky Flavor Podcast, check us out on socials. I can be followed at TahoeJBennett, TAHOE, the letter J, and then BENNETT. That's on TahoeJBennett on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky, as well as the YouTube channel. And be sure to follow, subscribe, like, do all that good stuff, so I know that you're enjoying the content that we're putting out here, and we'll put out more to keep you interested and excited. More from comic creators and people doing things in the comic book industry. Also follow the Funky Flavor Podcast online on Instagram and Blue Sky at the Funky Flavor. And of course, Comics Bodega can be found across socials and online at Comics Bodega, comicsbodega.com. Thanks so much for watching, listening, however you're taking in this content, and more on the way. Another Kickstarter spotlight coming up next with Travis Himmel of Start Your Engine.
This is some real live funky, get down on the get down.